I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is March 23rd, Monday, 2026. Hope you had a good day, good weekend here. So we discussed, I made this video on the 18th. We talked about blowing through the lows and then possibly seasonality wise coming back up on between the 19th and 21st. You've been watching the videos, you know I've been saying that, and this is an example of what I drew, right? This was more leaning to the 5-year seasonal data. And sure enough, we did this. I mean, we came down, we took out these lows here, and then we got past the 3.5 to 4. We got into that weekly objective. That's this is drawing on the new contract though. If you recall, obviously, I had that liquidity there, and then we came down, and then from there, look what they used Trump as an example to. Man, I'm telling you, it's a TV show. I've been saying this stuff. This was seasonality. How am I able to draw this, and then we end up doing this? Oh yeah, listen. It's a TV program. They're using it. They're using it to implement what they want to do. There's no other way for them to justify coming all the way back up that quickly. What are they doing? They're trying to wipe out the easy sellers. I said it in yesterday's video, which is Friday. I said that we're gonna pop back up for the liquidity that we're making right now. Yo, you don't need to be a rocket scientist for that. You don't need to be a PhD, from MIT. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like I'm trying to tell you, like, what's the purpose of them coming down here? It's to take out the liquidity. What's the purpose of them coming back up? It's to wipe out the liquidity. Yo, we're a monkey on their back. I say this shit all the time. And then want to see it? Let's take a look. Yo. I'm trying to tell you that I'm not brilliant. I'm brilliant, but I'm not that brilliant. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not. So, I'm sorry, I'm actually extremely brilliant, but I'm just joking. See I put these liquidity lines right here? Look what happened when we tapped it at the end of Friday's video. We tapped it and we bounced right the fuck up where? To that breakout area of this low. But guess what? If I go back to the weekly range, 1 second, it was high here, right? And then I made the low. Remember, I was dragging the weekly range. We never used it until you could have used it at the end of the day, but I was making the fucking video while that was happening. And then take a look. Take a look. I can't make this shit up. And I knew this was going to happen, buddy. It was, hey, as you see, this shit's not on my time. This shit happens when it happens. Take a look. All right. So it hit that low of the week. That was the end of the week on Friday right here. And we bounced. Look at the 20%. Dude, that is algorithmic. You telling me that buyers and sellers bounced it off that liquidity low right there, which would have been this September 2nd, Tuesday low, I'm assuming, for that week, and then popping it right back to 20%. You can see that, right? This is not hard to read. You're not getting lost in all this, right? Okay, cool. So they did that, and it stopped. They gapped down. Oh, you don't say. I even said this in the earlier the videos. I was mentioning that it makes sense for the price to stay down here. So then what happens is that when we'll gap down the next week, and then we take out. Look, yo. I mean, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, my price is going up. So we left this guy alone. We didn't get that, but then we took those three guys right there. See, let's take a look at that real quick. So we gapped down, boom. We took out the week's low already. Dude, this fucking already 1,000-point fucking move. The weekly range has printed again. These little bastards. They did it again. Why do you think they do that? They're confused the week. It makes it more difficult. Wasn't this February? This was Friday. It happened here on Monday. March right here. Monday, remember, March 26th, bounced all the way up. It's the same idea. Lower low to lower high. We ended up gapping at lower low. We made a lower high. And it's a long conversation about the rest of what happens from here, but that's the same logic. It's the same thing. And it takes out both sides of that candle on Friday. So when you see that type of taking out both sides. It's like, okay, we get it, man. They're trying to make it difficult, but that's the plan. I mean, like, um, eh, okay, let me roll through. So coming 50% of the gap here, and then wicking and then being a little strength up to the downside, trying to get people to sell in here, right? People are trying to get in and they are getting in, selling it. Boom. We take out this liquidity low. Next, the next one here, and then we sit here sideways, and then look, and then they use this at 7 o'clock, bro. Listen. You really think just because what's his name said something that this happened? Okay? Here's proof that it's not true. I didn't know that he was gonna say whatever he said at 7 o'clock. I just knew that this was gonna happen. No, you see what I'm saying? So get the seasonality. You understand that this is a TV show, right? And then this is just super bogus. And then what are they doing? Oh, yeah, overbought from to oversold, coming back where? Snapping it right back to the first imbalance of the month. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Easy sellers, guys. I mean, come on. I said it while we were dropping. That's why we were bearish. Swept that real quick. Breakout level. Boom. Remember that daily imbalance? That little miniature one. Look at the little, see it? You see it? It's little one. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I clearly said it. Remember that shit? Right in between these little guys. What's the point of that? The point is that they're going to come back to it. Yeah, it's easy lower highs to grab liquidity. Okay, so it gets a little messy here. I got two gaps here. I got the original gap from when I was using it literally this whole year. I was using this gap originally. And then so it's this one right here, right? So I got it quadded right here. This guy right here. Come on, bro. This guy right here. Then I have this one in the background. This one is from, oh, I'm sorry. I'm tweaking. God damn it. So the big one here, that is the one from here, over there. Right? Remember November 24th, whatever. So that's the big one there. And I brought it back on the chart because now we're underneath pretty much. And again, I was just focused on coming down here. So I didn't really need it anymore. I was using this current gap here, which, well, not current, but more recent gap, which was March 8th. You know what I'm saying? Which would have, would have been for Monday. See that gap right there? I don't know why it's got it highlighted all the way out there like that. So I'm highlighting that gap and I got it quadded. And that's what I was using, in some of this price action. You're going to say, well, which one is it? Well, you'll see they both work. They both overlap. But notice, if you take a look at it closely, that 50% is matching that 25%. And then that top is close to that. I mean, so, that's another conversation. And it's not that serious. But we're not up there yet. But look what it's snagged, though. Take a look. Oh my goodness. I mean, we're missing it. 764 and 3/4. And what's the high here? The high here is 763 even up there. All right. So, we're talking about like ticks, right? So, so they rush right back to that here, breakout area again. And so on. So, getting back into the video, yesterday, Friday, if you look at the projection from that high to that low swing that I made, it's right here. It's sitting right there. Maybe that last lower high that I sold off on Friday. Remember that? Look at 2 to 2.5 right here. Right here. Beautiful, right? I'm going to delete this. But that was us reaching down to our kind of final destination there before we yank up. And then they're using that liquidity guy right there, right? Ooh, look at this. No gap. I mean, there's a straight gap there. Let's go into real quick. If I could see this on a weekly, obviously it's not going to be it's not going to be similar. Notice how they don't have it there. Fucking losers. Not that helpful, but I will tell you this. I have been telling you all about this. So we ended up coming for that low right there as well, right? And then -1. Take a look at the -1 right here. Look at the -1. Oh, baby, you don't say. So I talked about getting into this first, right? Talked about getting into the 23,000 levels, all right? And then we're inside this 101.5. I mean, if you eyeball half, it's not too far off, right? See that here? Notice these details, that low. Then we tag this guy finally. All right, what did I say? Breakout area, imbalance, and liquidity. And we hunt for it, right? Now let's go back to, before I even get off this, first imbalance of the month here for March. Notice how we come underneath it and then wham, we come in, we tag that shit right there. See that? Beautiful. And then let me get into the video. And then I did a projection here. You can see this last low to this last high. I just got it over here, sitting over here. But I'm referencing this low and this high here. And then the Asia. See that? Not with the gap, because that's a low. They gapped down for a low. They made a lower high. They made a new low, right? And then we rammed through it, right? So I'm measuring that. You can see 101.5 and 2 to 2.5. See that? Beautiful. Okay, let's get back into the fire. That's what do we do around here. In this situation, I wasn't even awake. I had a very long night last night. A lot of shit going on personally. Yo, man, I woke up and I saw this, and I was actually about to go right back to bed. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. This looks crazy. Only because the fact that you definitely got both sides of the market here. And what that means is that it's just not very helpful. Missed the move. I wonder if anybody caught that bad boy. London special right there, huh? Oh my goodness. Because if I was down here in London, I would be buying this in general. I don't care if I'm bearish or bull. I would have tried to buy this anyway. Look how we bounce on that last low right there. See, that's what I love about when I extend these lows. I'm not done with them. Just like when we were in all-time highs pushing up all the way back here, I always drew out an all-time high because I know we kind of come back to it as a breakout area, come underneath it, and so here beautifully you can see that. And look at the -1 standard deviation. Oh boy, Asia, look at you, just nice. Us New York motherfuckers is just sleeping through this. And I'm not going to start trading at 7 o'clock. I'm just letting you know. I'm not a hype like that. But you miss shit like this, right? I mean, I wouldn't even want to be a part of that. That shit is dangerous as hell. But look how we're bouncing here, right? And then beautiful imbalance right there with an inversion and just takes off. So what's my point of this? The point is that what does this tell you? In advance, let's say the 23rd. So we 22nd, 21st. So it was the 19th on Friday. And I told y'all, I said, why we're going to buy. I can't draw this. And dude, I get it. You're right. Okay. But what's my point? Well, I mean, I couldn't be a part of it, but I understand that seasonality wise, we're gonna do a nice buy here on the 5 year. The 15 year and the 30 year also show buying, but the 5 year is extreme, and this very kind of matches the 5 year. Now the 15 year kind of keeps going here, right? The 15 year should have never went this low. That's why I'm not really fucking with the 15 year right now. The 30 year is similar. It does similar to this. And then we pull back, which we are kind of in a way pulling back now. And then we kind of go sideways until we kind of that next buy in April in the middle. I told y'all, I said there's going to be 3 big buys. I said it's going to be in the fucking first 10 days of April. It's going to be not April, May. I'm sorry, March, right? The first fucking week of March. God. The 20th of March, and then I said the 15th of April, right? So it's general seasonality, right? So otherwise, I can't help you more on that to explain it. As you see, once we make this big push, we get a nice 3 drives, right? You get the 1, 2, 3, beautiful. Body staying right inside the first imbalance of the month. Do you think out of all the places that this shit stopped with the bodies, do you really think that that's coincidence? Impossible. It's just like saying, is there human life outside of this universe? Well, there is 100 billion universes, and each universe has a sun, a moon, and a planet. Okay? And there's 100 billion of those. So for you to say there's no life outside, that would be mathematically impossible. This is the fucking same idea. I mean, there's no way that would be a coincidence. Just no way. So a little extra tidbit. So you see the drives there beautifully. And then once we do that, we have the first imbalance of I got Thursday dragged out here, and I have Fridays right there. I'm not really showing you Friday because it's kind of laying on it, so I'm not, But look what we do. We run right through it to the first imbalance of the month. We retrace back with 3 drives. So let me do this. Drive 1 back, retraces back. Nice inversion there. Beautiful bodies sitting there, no bodies now in the top half. Wicking it beautifully underneath. Look at the confluence here, dude. I mean, just my chart. That's why I don't need to do anything else but show you my chart. That's already a blessing as it is, I think. I mean, you might think that's arrogant. It's not. It really isn't. Retraces back in here. And then this inversion, turn inversion, second drive back. All right, couple drive back here in that second drive, and then we're back into that first imbalance of Thursday, because there's nothing really much left to the chart as well. So this is kind of like what I'm using, and beautifully, it's not coincidence. And then we end up bouncing beautifully, fucking pre-New York right there, bouncing on it. There's an inversion there, and then what's it called? Hits, comes in, bounces, buys up to this inversion. Then it goes up here, some more, comes back for 930. 930 opens up, very tough for you to figure out what model it's going to be. This ends up being more likely a shakeout, more of a pump dump to me, because if we're going to retrace deeper, it's going to go up first to then go back down. And that's kind of like what we did. So that being the case, we push up back to the first, out of all the places, again and again. Nah, man, come on, guys, come on, yo. So we're still back in this control here. This is these 2 up candles, in a sense, order block here. It's the highest it's gonna go before it retraces, and then you can also go do some. You can go look back at, it's very similar to what we did here in April 7th. If you take a look, this season out, here's a prime example. That buy that I said that happens in April, this is like in 25. This is very similar. Look how we push stupidly up, and then we retrace, make a low, make an internal lower high, and then we sweep it one more time. And this took many days to do that. Not many, but I mean, it took more than just today to do it. You see that? And then I think this is kind of what's going on if they decide to make this a bullish market again, right? Because we're coming back, believe it or not, we're coming back faster, coming down faster than you think. But I'm just talking in general right now. I just don't think this is, I just don't think that's the case. I think that we're still obviously bearish and we're going to still make lows. So, anyways, we'll see. But this is kind of like what I'm talking about right here. This retracement, the price action. So in today's price action, you'll see it's kind of like that big push up, the retrace back, we come back up, and then we come a little lower to get back in here. Because their ultimate goal was to get into this breakout area. I mean, look at it's not fair, bro. I'm gonna say it that way just to be saying it, generally loosely, but that's extremely not fair for anyone that was selling here. Look to the right. There is no mitigation at all. So, that's super unfair. And by the way, this little tidbit, I don't know who's going to tell you this on the internet, but see this guy right here? There's a little gap right here on the 15 second for Nas. On the 15 second and the 5 second. The other assets, they were on the 5, I believe. They weren't on their 15 second, but for us, it was on the 15 second and the 5. So that right there, there's literally no price action in between this level that I have marked here. You see it on the 1 minute, but it's literally not there on another time frame. So because of that, look to the left. There's also no price action to the left either. This is completely fucking empty, right? When it dropped, right? And then when they pushed up, it's okay. I'll just go to it. So you don't think I'm fucking crazy. See that right there? So this is a 15 second. So look to your left and look to your right. You see how there's no price action to the left and to the right? We're coming back down for that. Most likely. So Just an extra tidbit. That's why, pulling back in more is very logical. Oh shit! Excuse me. God damn. So 930 pushes up here, grabs them, almost tags him out right there. No, everyone's trying to sell this. Beautiful move right there. And then here, look at this. I'm using this as the first imbalance, so it's relative. It could have been that one or that one. But it's just very fickle because it's got a good enough points. So I'm just going to use that for now. And then we bounce here and come from that gap to this gap here, or first imbalance. And then look at this right here. Comes deeper. Oh, you shouldn't be equal. You should buy from here. Oh, you should buy from here. Oh, it doesn't buy. What does it do? Oh, it makes another low right here. See that right there? Oh, they're just grabbing that. Oh, it's going to buy back up. Oh, it could, but I don't know. That's another low. And then take a look. All right, we're going up. Oh, we stop in this imbalance right here. Oh, shit. Oh, what's it doing? It's coming down. Oh, right there. You make a decision right here. Support, turning resistance. Breaks right through it. Slithers candle by candle. And it's mosey on its way down where? Back to the 50. So for me, this was my target here, getting into the liquidity here with this guy. The 25 here, but more importantly, I have also this first imbalance here. All this liquidity here. But really the low that we made here, these guys right there, this low, and then the 50. You see, I got a coupled and encompassed there. Look when we trace back down. Before we do, I drag out that first imbalance. I'm using that as a bullish inversion. Sorry, you can see this, right? Sorry, I might be all crazy over here. We use that as an inversion, that bearish imbalance that I've got highlighted right there. We end up buying from it right there. Boom. X marks the spot with the first imbalance that I've got drawn. It's a bullish imbalance. And then the bearish one, and then nice inversion and buys. Beautiful as support, And then, anyways, dragged out. You can see on this side, wham. Yeah, just total luck, right? It's if you draw lines across the screen, it's gonna match somewhere, right? Yeah, okay, bro. Okay, good story. 50. Oh, good story. Real good story. You know what I mean? It's not the way it works, dude. This is that's fire right there. So beautiful sell right here. Into a couple drives, a failed drive here with the 50% there, and then coming back out to squeeze out some of this breakout area and sellers here, and now we're coming down again, most likely to again that breakout area from that lower high that we made. We gapped and we blew through it. So if someone was to have pushed sell here, this is a mitigation area as well. This whole Asia shit to come back to it. The gap itself at 50%, it's quadded. You can also see the settlement is close to that 25%. They got that little fucking gap right there. So I'm drawing the circle here from there to here. Just to me, it makes sense. And then I also have this projected here. If this was going to have kept going, I would have, by the way, if this would have kept going from here and this bull flag turns into a real one and it kept going, I would have expected it to go. Look at this. Look at the 0.25 and the 50. The 0.25 is literally the same level as that gap, 50%. So that's real suspect. I remember I said that 50% of that gap that's in my screen is almost the high of that other gap. Remember, I already got discussed talking about that, right? But we're in that we're already in that 2 to 2.5. So then we're pulling back. We pulled back into the 1 to 1.5, and now we're coming deeper. Looks like now we're coming really lower. Beautiful there. And then on the 4 hour, there's an imbalance right there. So it doesn't want to come. So, again, if I don't think too hard, right? I just say, okay, well, coming down here to wipe them out is a very logical thing. And after they do that, coming back up is a very logical thing. We came all the way up to here, didn't we? Right here. We came down and we came back up, and we came up right here today, right? And then we're kind of dipping back. So, and then why do I talk like that? Because like I have to talk like that because when we're coming lower right now, could you have pushed by? You probably wouldn't have got filled, but could you have pushed by anywhere on this road? Yeah, You could have blindly. That's the reason why I don't. Okay, again, because the environment that we're in, if we're really bearish, I still want to make another low. You know what I mean? I still want to make another lower low. So that's the only reason why. If it was a different case, and this was like a, last year of April, and we were at the low like that, fucking drop, I would have been like, okay, we're gonna pull back in and then look for another buy. So let them build this liquidity, let them raid that, seal the inefficiency, and if it sees support, push back up for a higher high, right? Like that would be like the general game plan. But this is not a normal environment, so I'm just gonna say that. So am I making this too long? So we were in the battle between this guy here and this guy here. It's like, okay, what are we doing, guys? They pushed up kind of deep, and then sure enough, speaker time, shakeout time, and that's what I meant by that. So yeah. And again, the weekly range is already, the average weekly range has already been printed, dude. So it's like, really, guys? Serious. So VIX here, overbought here, and then they shot it down with the oversold, getting to an oversold on the 1 hour, and that obviously pushed us all the way back up. And then this shit's kind of mid-center, right? I mean, back to this shit. I mean, it's when I saw this, I was like, man, come on, man, because it's not helpful. Obviously it's not helpful, but it just makes it difficult for these next days coming. I swear, because of the fact that it could do a lot of transition days and chop days. So that's just my 2 cents there, and and then you can see here on Monday here when we gapped down, they gapped up, right? And then they made their fucking high. And then on the 5-minute, beautiful, dude. I mean, dude, this is the time where in Asia and London I would have loved to trade, right? And this has been going on for actually quite a while. But you know what? I still don't do it. You know why? Because I have to stick to my process. I don't want to be, I mean, man, I'm enjoying my time with my family, and I'm, this and that, and it's just like, who cares? Who fucking cares? Who cares? So it's all good. But look at this drop here. That's the high, and then we swing back into a mean reversion, sort of speak, and that's pretty much the flow. I don't need to even kind of get more into that. Dollar, obviously they shot dollar down as well, and just more silliness. Getting back into here to seal it. Why? Because this was kind of like a higher low, and then busting through, and then they're kind of coming back. We were on overbought, so I did mention that dollar could pull back. I've all mentioned these in these past videos. I know I've said them. I mean, I might not do a good job of marking this stuff, but what is this, an hour here? So you can see all all lower lows there, all fine there. Let me go to a 5-minute. Let me go to a 5-minute for you, playa. These are all higher lows here. You see that? So, pretty kosher there. And so is this here. This is all pretty kosher too. And then, who missed it by a fucking hair, buddy? So, just a bull flag not working. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still coming lower. And then and remember this day. This is, so you ask me why do I do these videos? Why would I not show the trades? Why would I do that? Listen, you're gonna remember when I talk about shit. You're gonna remember this one day, bro, because this is happening. How do I know about this? I have seen this a handful of times, honestly, right? And even professional traders who have been trading for 50 years, even, or not 50, but however long ass time, there are a handful of times maybe they've seen this 3 times or whatever. So in general speaking, I have seen this at least once or twice, at least. And what's the point of that breakout? Obviously you usually see this on an NFP or FOMC or whatever, and they come down and they sweep this because this is a sell model. So what do you think the purpose of shooting back up like that? To get them out that quick, bro? That shit is bogus. I mean, it's just amazing. But again, drive 1, retrade. Drive 2, retrade. Drive 3, counter trend, right? Still, so and that's the flow. The point of this is me saying that so you could realize, like, okay, what are my options or probabilities in this movement? And this is pretty much it. I mean, it's a little obvious because by the time you get up here, it's like, okay, wow, oh, it's gonna bust up through here, my dude. It's already 1,000 points. What the fuck else? You want it to go higher? There's got to be some measure of retracement, to some type of mean reversion, bro. Like, come on. I didn't even draw that shit. I didn't even need to, but it's not even nowhere near that bitch. If you quad this, you know, you get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what they do here on that top half. They probably want to use that as support to try to bounce up one more time. It depends because of the seasonal data, we do shoot up, like as I discussed here on the 19, 20, 21st or whatever. Happens to be Monday, so they did it here. Market was closed and then they shot it up, and then we get a nice pullback around the 23rd, which is today. This is happening. But once it's done pulling back, it shows that the 25th or 6th that we bounce right back up. So all right, and that's the 5-year. So it's gonna get interesting right here. So what else? Dow. Where do you think? Breakout level. See, this little bear flag here pushing back up. This little wedge. Clean break. So up here for good measure. Very simple. Not too complicating. I called the fucking top. Go look at this video. The 11th or the 12th. The 11th, it was either the 10 or 11 or 12th. Guaranteed. I said, this looks like a top and it's going to reverse and come back down. And sure enough, that shit was it, baby. That sure was it. And I talked about coming to sweep that right here too. Remember coming in here? See these guys right here? Yeah. Yeah. Dow's moving much faster than everybody else, that's for sure. Man, it looks like it's about to stop and go back up. Oh no. They just didn't have to come back. If I was them, I would still use these next weeks to still just come a little lower. Like get this guy right here or something, and a little bit of more of these guys. They think they're safe here by breaking out. But hey, they've already got most of their shit, wiped out. But so we're gonna see what we do here. Daily is still bearish, so I said that very clear. Daily's still bearish. Yeah, top 25%, bounce, retrace. All right, and then came a little deeper. They missed the 50%. They're sitting at their 8th level. I put an 8th level in here, and that's it. Previous day's high. Playing with that. I'm so exhausted. I wish I could take a nap right now. And I might even. 33 minutes. S&P. Boom. Right to him. Where? Oh, you count that as an inversion. Right back to the previous week's gap. So not this one, but that one. It's the one I was talking about in Nas. And man, that motherfucker's deep, bro. So real quick, let's take a look here. Use that projection, that same projection of what the idea is maybe happening here. Talked about that. Look at that projection here. Look at 3.5 to 4. Cool, catching the top of the market. Big figure, 7,000 level. Coming down. Ooh, getting them here, baby. Getting them right here. And that's that. I haven't done really any analyzing here. I'm going to say that I like this last push here. This little break in. Let's take a look at what this looks like. We'll see what this do, pimp. All right. Oh, the -1. You don't say. You don't say, baby. So the real question is if they want to get to the -2 here or not. That's for me. That's going to be really it. I mean, for me, it makes sense that they do that. So I like this breakout area here. Super imbalanced breakout liquidity, guys, right here. -2's resting right there. So I'd like to see that, just mingle its way down. We might be in the process of like somewhere like here, right, where we dropped and then we're getting the retrace back, which we're kind of getting the retrace back, and then it'll roll over and maybe flush to get into here. Shit, I called that leg like amazingly. I put COVID's leg here, COVID here. I took that shit from here. It's called a measured move from here to there. Fucking same. Look at that, bro. Shit's serious. That's why I was worried if they did this. That they're just pulling back for now, do one more final drive here, and then it hits the fan. But I don't even think that's gonna happen. I think they just should do it now. But I just feel like it is a little too close for comfort. Are we gonna go into a 2022 situation, or is it gonna be a 25 where it's really quick? I mean, to be honest with you, I would prefer it to be a 25. This is obviously not easy. So, but we do have the data to back test it. I'm keeping it simple by talking the way I'm talking. Markets haven't moved only like this since this started, but I'm just saying it looks like they're making it pretty easy in a way. Don't hold me to that kind of exact verbiage, but coming right back in here to 50% possibly. Again, you know what I'm saying? Right back to the mean reversion, Oh, there it is. You don't say. So, and then they also came to their 50 here, and then swept that shit here, and then that's where they are. So we're kind of like dead center there. Here's the thing. And you wanted some extra tidbits. Look at the 15-minute. Look at the body. Look at the body stopping. Okay, right here. Look at the bodies on the 15-minute stopping on that first imbalance from Thursday there. Look how it's look at the algorithm. Look. That's come on, yo. This is not random, yo. This can't be. And then I have a projection from here, from this candle high. The bullish candle and this bullish candle low, and I projected it down. Here's 1 on 1.5. I need to open this up a little bit just to say, yeah, I can see that, bro. I'm just gonna do that. Just open it up. You see that? I'm deleting this because that never happened. And then 1 to 1.5, we pop it right there. We come right back into this breakout area that or nice selling origination. And then we'll see if they want to, Asia overnight. They end up moseying their way down here, and then we'll see what happens here. But obviously a bullish day. And then let me see what else I need to say here. And then Nvidia, with the push down, also a gap. Boy, y'all really making this easy for us to come back down. I mean, I'm letting you know. I mean, it's I feel like the writings on the wall is just too obvious to still keep coming down. Like they keep doing this type of shit to make it difficult for you to be a part of it, but then they're letting you know that they're coming down because of it. It's like, that's what I'm doing. I'm not really doing anything more difficult than that, man. Let me see. Is there anything else I need to say? So back to the seasonality shit here, man. This is the issue. And I need to adjust this too. I want to see now that we've blown through that. I want to see if I measure the whole thing, and you might see some confluence down here, pimp. The fucking to the tick. Okay. Come on. Measuring it, -1. Look at this. History in the making, bro. I'm trying to tell you. So, why am I using that? Well, because it is the lower high that pushed this leg down. Man, I could do so many things here, but that's pretty fire right there. It's just kind of annoying, but you can also do that too. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. I think I'm gonna delete this one here, and then I'm just kind of giving you the logic. So once we come back any lower, I'll try to come back into this. I just don't want too much shit on the chart, but what else am I gonna say here? All right, when we made this leg, we popped up. Deleting this to 2.5. And right now, dailies, we're still in control of this bearish imbalance here. Remember my little boy right there? I'm gonna delete this guy. He's too small, but it's inefficient on the daily right there. You definitely want to stay below that one. That one I just deleted here. You want to stay below that. Obviously bearish on the daily with the bodies of bearish and control here. Not strong of a candle either right there. Kind of coming back, but there's no body here on the bearish side either. Just bullish only offered. So, very similar to that conversation we had when I said on this March 9th, I said that. Even said it here in this past Monday. This week I have this weekly gap here, right? I had drawn it a little bit different. I think I pushed it up to here, but I'm measuring the gap to gap here. Just measuring that as an imbalance in itself. And if you drag it over, I talked about us trying to be underneath that 50% of that type of gap or imbalance. You'll see that we kind of sold off from it here. Right, and then we came back up into it right there, and then we're kind of using it as resistance. So being bearish, I definitely want to kind of see that stay bearish. I want to move it over back because I don't want to dirty the chart. But it's there. It's my logic there. What else? This guy still in play. Here, we got the support right there. Here's the issue. So, okay, I'm gonna speak in a normal world, right? The 5-year would do this as it already did. We pull back as we are doing it now. Let's just say it decides to just stop here. Then it does this, comes back up. Very similar to what I showed you on April 7th of 2025, okay? And then it continues back up. This is the general gist of what we're about to deal with here. This is on the 5-year. On the, and I'm starting to feel the 5-year is key here. But on the 30-year, we come back here like we're doing, and then we kind of go sideways and speak her out. And this happens all the way into April, right? So I know this is picture this on a more time, drawing. Does it mean we can do a lot in those amount of days? But I'm just trying to give you the framework there. Okay, so that would be like what's today? Let's say March 23rd, Monday. I made this video. So that's the 30-year, and then the 15-year is, obviously, literally bullish from here. So it pulls back, kind of like what we're doing, and then it's really gone, right? So that's the 15-year. And then, and the general gist of us being bearish, and we're really bearish, and we're recession, and we're coming down like 22 and 25, then you already know. I mean, I'm not going to, I'm not going to make this any difficult, more difficult than that. I don't know. This shit looks really weird for it to just reverse like that, though. How do you reverse this candle? I mean, can it even happen? God, I don't know, but I'm just gonna talk. All right, and then however this ends up looking like, because again, Monday just printed the whole weekly candle. So, the average weekly range for this week is 974. So let's just say even 1,000 points. They already went 1,000 points. So I can't even holler at you. But do you see us taking out that high for the week, or do you see us taking out that low for the week? Or do we stay in the range the whole time? I mean, those are your three options. Obviously, in general speaking, right now we have took both sides out and closed back in, so there's no clear direction here, except for the fact that we took out the low and we took out the high and we stopped here. Generally speaking, we'll say that we'll be bullish here. I just don't see how they could leave that alone, but I just don't think this is done for the bottom side. So, and you're going to be like, man, you just gave us every option possible. How the fuck am I? And then tomorrow, you're going to take a trade on one of those ideas, and then you're going to say you're the king, right? Listen, I'm not trying to do that, right? I have to know what the options are. And right now I've just screenshotted on my own. I know what the options are. That's my homework for today. Then tomorrow, or tomorrow, I go and I take a look at, okay, well, what has Asia and London done? And then I will be able to reference those ideas with what the ideas I had here. And you're just trying to fine tune the best probability scenario, right? That's what we do. So look at the 4 hour here. I'm not 4 hour, 1 hour. Look at the 7 o'clock closing right there on that first imbalance. Look at that. And then the 8 o'clock opening. Right in there. It's not perfect, but once it got here and it stopped, it said, okay, all right, guys, shoot back up. It's like it told itself, okay, guys, shoot back up while it was in here. That's a program. Those are program tasks, right? So, what am I missing? I'm missing something, man. I know I'm missing something. So, it's gonna be tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. Just this shit, it really makes me not want to trade. So I'm gonna put this here for now. And then is this a sell model here? Pop right back to this 1.5, leak right into the 2 to 2.5 here. And then that would take out that next low that's not on the screen. I don't know why I keep doing that. Sorry. That low would be the next agenda in my opinion. Generally speaking. Can it happen this week? I don't know, bro. It's gonna be a tough week, man. It's gonna be a tough week. I think it might be a tough week. For holding and for ideas. I think even though it moves well, like I showed you, I'm just going to be doing it like that. You know what I mean? I'm going to be really following the channels here. A channel back here retracing. Each one of these pushback is a channel, coming back down as a channel. It's pretty clear. You can see the channels there, but yeah, I don't know what else I can really say here, dude. Yeah, I just really like this. Man. Try to get back into that guy right there. Seal this. And fuck me, 49 minutes? Really, bro? What else can I say? That's it, man. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough to call it. But you already know what the targets are on the downside, so you guys take care. God bless.